Welcome to the lab overview. So before we build our lab, there are few things that I wanted to cover, and that is what the lab is going to look like. So our lab is going to consist of one Windows Server 2019 and then two Windows 10 or 11 enterprise machines. If we think about this, and we think about this in a virtualized environment, we have some minimum requirements we are going to have to use. For one, when we run ISOs or we run machines, we need disk space. On top of that, we need RAM. And to build this lab effectively, we need about 120 gigs of disk space and 16 gigabytes of RAM. I am utilizing much more than that in this. I am using 32 gigs of RAM when I do this. So here's how it should work. We are going to have a Kali machine, our attack machine, and then we are going to have these three other machines. Now you might utilize 2 gigabytes of RAM for each. So 2 gigs on Kali, 2 gigs on the Windows Server, and then 2 gigs on each Windows 10 enterprise machine. But if you are using Windows 11, it needs minimum 4 GB of RAM. That will give you about 8 gigs of RAM, 8 to 10 gigs, 8 to 12 gigs of RAM usage, not including anything else that you are running, meaning your base OS or any of that. So please keep in mind that you need at least 18 gigabytes of RAM for this course to be effective. If you have more than that, that's great. You can start assigning maybe like 4 gigs if you want to each machine. I am going to assign 4 just to keep it to the average on speed requirements. And if you do not meet requirements, which I completely understand, not everybody has a 16 gigabytes of RAM in their computer, right? That's okay. Please follow along, take notes, take screenshots, download the tools, play around with them and understand them. There is still going to be examples with some hack the box machines that we encounter later on. That's going to allow us to utilize some of these attacks, and you can play around with those, and you still can understand what's going on even if you can't do it hands on fully. I understand this is a limitation, but this is also a good time if you never built a lab and you do have these requirements to build out this lab to fully understand it. If you need something, you can go out and purchase a cheap server. They have a bunch of those on eBay, and build out ISOs to these requirements as well. But for me, I am just running with enough disk space and enough RAM to actually be functional. And again, if you don't have the requirements, do not stress about it. There are plenty of people who have done similar builds with me before, and they did not have the requirements and they still learned a lot. So please just consume the information that is about to be presented to you and understand what we are building, why we are building it, and what we are attacking and why we are attacking it. And you are gonna kill it in your job interview, I promise you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start downloading our files, and let's start building out this lab in the next video.